Thanks for joining us. We're going to talk about how to get your top sales price for your beautiful home. There are problems today that didn't exist before. The banks right now, they're scared to appraise the properties at a level that's attractive for home sellers. They don't want the house back that they lend on. They don't want to repossess it. Banks are scared to lend. They want the best borrowers. They want 720 FICO scores or better, and they want really large payments. And if you're the home seller and you want to get a top price, you need to be creative. You need to know what buyers want in a house, and your house needs to be attractive. You need to know what your neighborhood sold prices are, and you need to be creative in your agreements. If you have no equity or you're underwater, you owe more than the appraiser, well, we can help. There are over 10 million homeowners that have no equity at all, or they're underwater. And then there's another 10 million that have 10% equity estimated, maybe, let's say 5 to 15% equity, but not a lot. Now, what does it cost for home sellers to sell? In a perfect world, in a seller's market, it's generally about 8%. And it's 6% for the agent or realtor, and it's 2% for closing costs. Now, when you factor in realtor fees, closing costs, now there's something called price reductions, where you list a price, let's say for $100,000, and the agent says it's not moving, so we need to bring it down to $92,000. That's called a price reduction. And seller concessions, they tend to be about 3 to 4% of the sales price. So this number is close to 12 to 16% of the value of the house, especially in some areas of the country. So here are your options if you have very little equity. One, you can sell with a real estate agent. Their commission is non-negotiable at 6%. Then there's going to factor in seller concessions of 3 to 6%. And then there's going to discount the price reductions. That's going to be 3 to 10% in some areas from asking price. And then the closing costs are 2 to 3%. So here's an example. For a $100,000 house, minus $6,000 in sales commission, minus $3,000 to $6,000 in seller concessions, minus $3,000 to $10,000 discount in price reductions, and $2,000 to $3,000 in closing costs. Here's a $200,000 example. $200,000 value, $12,000 sales commission, $6,000 to $12,000 in seller concessions, $6,000 to $20,000 in discount price reductions, and $4,000 to $6,000 in closing costs. Here's an example for $300,000. $300,000 value, $18,000 in sales commission, $9,000 to $18,000 in seller concessions, $9,000 to $30,000 in discount through price reductions, $6,000 to $9,000 in closing costs. Here's a $400,000 example. $400,000 value, $24,000 in commission, $12,000 to $24,000 in seller concessions, $12,000 to $40,000 in discount through price reductions, and $8,000 to $12,000 in closing costs. Here's a $500,000 example. $500,000 value, $30,000 in sales commission, $15,000 to $30,000 in seller concessions, $15,000 to $50,000 in discounts through price reductions, and $10,000 to $15,000 in closing costs. Here's an example for $600,000. $600,000 value, $36,000 in commission, $18,000 to $36,000 in seller concessions, $18,000 to $60,000 discount through price reductions, and $12,000 to $18,000 in closing costs. Here's an example for $700,000. $700,000 value, $42,000 in sales commission, $21,000 to $42,000 in seller concessions, $21,000 to $70,000 discount through price reductions, and $14,000 to $21,000 in closing costs. Here's an example for $800,000. $800,000 value, $48,000 in sales commission, $24,000 to $48,000 in seller concessions, $24,000 to $80,000 discount through price reductions, $16,000 to $24,000 in closing costs. Here's an example for $900,000. $900,000 value, $54,000 in commission, $27,000 to $54,000 in seller concessions, $27,000 to $90,000 in discount through price reductions, $18,000 to $27,000 in closing costs. And lastly, for $1 million, there's a $60,000 commission. There's $30,000 to $60,000 in seller concessions. There's $30,000 to $100,000 discount through price reductions. And there's $20,000 to $30,000 in closing costs. I know that's discouraging, but there is a way to get top sales price for your beautiful home. Let's go through all the options, okay? Option 1, you can list it with an agent, and that costs about 12 to 15% of the value of the house in this buyer's market, not including the cleaning, the painting, the maintenance, the vacant house payments, etc. So maybe selling with an agent is not a good idea. Option 2, you could rent it out. But what a headache. The mindset of a tenant is a lot different than someone that has an ownership interest, which is our buyers through our program. Who wants an unknown, unproven tenant? Option 3, we've read a lot in the press about strategic defaults. This is where you miss payments on purpose. It's a deliberate default or strategic default. But please don't do it. Here's why. There's a 250-point ding on your credit score, and you get a 5 to 7 year wait on conventional financing through Fannie Mae guidelines. It really hurts your credit rating. Option 4 is a short sale. If you've lost a job or been downsized, or you're making 2 payments on 2 houses, you can't afford the house. Well, here's the problem with a short sale. It takes 6 months or more. It hurts your credit. 150-point hit on your FICO score. It stops getting you new mortgage about 3 years with Fannie Mae guidelines. Option 5, a lot of people think a bankruptcy will save them. A bankruptcy does not stop a foreclosure. It puts a pause on the foreclosure or a foreclosure freeze. It affects your personal insurance rating. It hurts your credit score. It interferes with getting a job with the government. You have to say yes to, have you ever declared bankruptcy? And yes to, have you ever had a foreclosure? It's really not fun. So, let's change gears a little bit. Here's the situation with home buyers today. They're really good people with good jobs, but they can't get a bank loan. They need a credit score of 720 or better. The banks want a big down payment, up to 20% down, and they need a property that will appraise right. Some of these properties are not appraising high enough for the sales price. Many good people can't buy today. For home sellers, there's a narrowed pool of buyers. The buyers today, they have good credit score, that's 600 to 720, but they only have about 3 to 5% down. They simply don't have the 20% down and the closing costs and the moving costs and other acquisition costs like insurance and moving costs, etc. So the buyers want a safe home. They want a good school district. They want out of an apartment. They can afford a good substantial monthly payment. Here's some mortgage payments that buyers can afford. For a $100,000 house, $536 to $665. For a $200,000 house, $1,000 to $1,330. A $300,000 mortgage, $1,600 to $1,900. A $400,000 mortgage, $2,100 to $2,600. A $500,000 mortgage, $2,600 to $3,300. A $600,000 mortgage, $3,200 to $3,900. A $700,000 mortgage, that's $3,700 to $4,600. An $800,000 mortgage, $4,200 to $5,300. A $1 million mortgage, $5,300 to $6,600. A $1.5 million mortgage, $8,000 to $9,900. A $2 million mortgage, $10,007 to $13,003. The source of this is bankrate.com. So what is this website, topsalespriceformyhome.com? What can it do for home sellers? Well, let's answer some questions. Can you sell your home for the loan balance for what you owe? Would you like to pay no agent commission of 6% or 2 to 3% closing costs? And for your information, we get paid when the buyer moves in. You do not pay us any money. We use a third-party escrow run by a talented real estate attorney. All three parties win. You get your sales price. The buyer gets your beautiful home. And we make a profit at no cost to you, the home seller. How do you, the home seller, get started to get your top sales price? Well, you fill out the home seller form here on our website, topsalespriceformyhome.com. That's topsalespriceformyhome.com. Or you call us right now. Write this number down. 855, it's toll free. 855-895-HOME or 855-895-4663. That's 855-895-4663. Just dial that number and listen for the home seller section, and we'll be happy to help you. Just leave your name and phone number, and I will get back to you, Brian Gibbons, or one of my assistants, and we'll ask you some questions, and it won't cost you any money. So I want to thank you. The name of our company is Innovative Property Group, topsalespriceformyhome.com. Call toll free, 855-895-4663.